World War II pushed the limits of every nation across the globe, particularly France. With its rich maritime resources, this nation found itself in an incredibly challenging position, fighting on both sides of the war. In this video, we'll examine how the tides of war tested the strength of the Navy and which sides of its naval force conquered the other. The French Navy, or La Marine Nationale, if you'll pardon my French, entered World War II as a modern and formidable force, boasting the most advanced ships of its time. However, the tides of war shifted. It wasn't just its strength or capabilities that were tested, its loyalty was too. When Germany invaded Poland in September 1939, the world was thrust into the chaos of war. France, as part of the Allied forces, declared war on Germany, and alongside it stood Britain, both nations more than ready to combat and contain the aggression of the Nazis. As the flames of war slowly brewed, the French Navy had a peculiar role. At the time, its naval forces ranked fourth largest in the world. It had an impressive fleet of battleships, cruisers, destroyers, and submarines, which were more advanced than most nations. Their mission statement was simple: patrol the Atlantic, protect trade routes, and counter any naval threat from the enemy, the Axis forces. However, France failed despite the simplicity of its mission statement and the strength of its naval force. The French Navy faced too many logistical and strategic challenges, as they were spread too thin across multiple theaters, from the Atlantic to the maritime and far-flung colonies. Besides that factor, the French naval fleet had to balance protecting its nation's interests while offering support to the operations of the Allied forces. Germany, who was already closely observing these factors, saw an opportunity to make a move on France. In May 1940, Germany launched the devastating Blitzkrieg campaign, which led to the fall of France. Blitzkrieg translates to lightning war, and it's safe to say that what hit France that day was just that. The attack involved rapidly concentrated forces meant to overload and overwhelm the enemy. It combined artillery, aircraft, noise-making sirens, and other psychological warfare tactics to dislodge the forces of France. The attack aimed to deliver a knockout blow before France could fully immobilize its troops. And it worked. By June, France had fallen, and its country was divided into two. As part of the armistice agreement the French government signed with the Germans on June 22, 1940, France was divided into two zones: the German-occupied north and the Vichy-controlled south. Under the terms of the armistice, the French Navy was allowed to remain intact. However, they were forbidden from joining with its allies. This became a significant concern for Britain. They feared that the French naval fleet would fall into the hands of the Axis. France itself was in a tight position. It wanted to fight. It needed to liberate its people from the tyranny of the Nazis, but its hands had been tied up. However, their bondage only lasted a while. Rescue was on its way. On July 3, 1940, the British Royal Navy launched a surprise attack on the French fleet stationed at Mers-el-Kébir in Algeria. The British came with a stark ultimatum for France: join the Allies, disarm, or face destruction. The French, bound by their orders from the Vichy government, refused, and the resulting bombardment left over 1,300 French sailors dead and several ships destroyed. This incident caused a rift between Britain and France, and galvanized the French Navy into a rash decision. Many sailors outraged by the attack pledged their loyalty to the Vichy regime. Others, however, formed the Free French Forces, led by General Charles de Gaulle. This disheartening division within the French Navy mirrored the political fragmentations of the country itself. The Vichy Navy, on its end, operated under the tight supervision of the Germans, who gained an edge on their attempt to maintain sovereignty over France. Meanwhile, the French Free Navy continued its fight for independence and became a vital weapon of the Allied forces. While recounting the incidents of World War II, the Normandy landing in 1944 was one of the most critical turning points of the war, and the French Free Navy forces, FFNF, played a vital role in the invasion of Germany. The date for the invasion was June 6, 1944, now more commonly referred to as D-Day. The backbone of the Free French naval fleet during the attack of Normandy lay in its collection of destroyers, corvettes, frigates, and cruisers, each designed to serve a specific role in the complex operation. Among its most notable vessels was the La Combattante. This was a sleek Hunt-class destroyer that, although designed by British engineers, was equipped with the spirit of the Free Frenchmen who commandeered it, fighting to take back what was rightfully theirs, their land and freedom. The Le Combattant was a marvel of mid-century naval engineering, equipped with advanced radar systems and streamlined hull meant to cut through the rough seas. Its propulsion systems were capable of delivering impressive speed and agility. The vessel was armed with 4 4-inch dual-purpose guns and depth-charge projectors equally adept at surface combat and anti-submarine attacks. Its robust radar systems were critical in providing intelligence that allowed the Allied forces to intercept German forces intended to disrupt their invasion. On the night of April 25, 1944, Le Combattant joined forces with the frigate HMS Rowley to intercept a fleet of German E-boats in the English Channel. The encounter was ferocious, as Le Combattant not only sunk the German torpedo S-147, but also damaged many other vessels. A few weeks later, on the night of May 13th, the destroyer faced another German torpedo boat, S-141, and again she triumphed in sinking the enemy vessel. The casualties of that attack left a dent in the German forces, as it led to the death of the son of German Admiral Karl Donitz, Klaus Donitz. Le Combattant's role extended further into a central role in another operation, a component of the D-Day invasion, Operation Neptune. As Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, the destroyer held its position off Courcelles-sur-Mer, braving the shallow waters just 3,000 meters from the shore. Its agility, speed, and maneuverability shone during naval engagements, evading enemy fire and executing hit-and-run tactics against German coastal defenses. The destroyer was equipped with various weaponry, including 120mm guns, torpedoes, and anti-aircraft guns. Although, like all vessels, it wasn't without its cons. Compared to larger vessels possessed by the opposition, Le Combattant was nimble in its firepower. Its range was also limited. However, where it failed as a weapon, the Free French Navy force made up for it with other weaponry. Although Le Combattant stood as a beacon of French resolve, she was not alone in her endeavors. The French Navy also deployed an array of ships and submarines. One of them was the Rubis, a Sapphire-class submarine, which was silent and deadly. Although initially launched in 1931, these mine-laying subs repeatedly proved themselves during World War II. Despite her age, the Rubis adapted to the demands of modern naval warfare. Her mission was to carry mines undetected to blockade enemy waterways. Measuring 65.9 meters in length and displacing around 1,600 tons, one of the most significant advantages of these submarines was their ability to operate at depths of up to 80 meters, an essential feat at the time. It was equipped with a complement of 42 crew members and an armament of torpedoes and mines, making it a versatile weapon for defense and offense. However, Rubis-class submarines did have their drawbacks. They were relatively small compared to other submarines during that era, limiting their operational range and endurance. Additionally, the design was somewhat noisy, which compromised its stealth. But that didn't stop it from its impressive record during the war. During the Norwegian campaign in 1940, Rubis laid mines off the coast that sank several enemy vessels. Throughout its service for the Free French, Rubis laid nearly 638 mines and claimed the sinking of 14 German warships. These bad boys were eventually decommissioned after the war and finally stroked out of service in 1949. But they had a good run and were a great asset to the Free French naval force. Another key vessel of the Free French Navy during World War II was the multi-rolled frigates, the Georges Legge-class frigates. Their capabilities included anti-submarine warfare, air defense, and surface combat. This class of subs was named after Admiral Georges Legge, a prominent figure in the French Navy. But at the Brest arsenal, they featured a length of 14 meters and a displacement of approximately 4,000 tons. The design was made so strong that it was resilient against nuclear blasts. With speed reaching 30 knots, they maneuvered easily during naval engagements. Equipped with anti-ship missiles and helicopters for reconnaissance and strike, these frigates adapted to various combat roles. One significant engagement of the frigates in World War II was escorting convoys across perilous waters infested by German U-boats and providing essential protection against submarine attacks. Its usefulness shone the most in delivering vital supplies and reinforcement to the Allied forces. The end of World War II witnessed the victory of the Allied forces against the Nazis, but the analysis of France's naval arsenal would be incomplete without discussing vessels from the French Navy that fell under the control of the Nazis, most notably the Richelieu. When the Richelieu fell into German hands during the chaos of France's division, it marked a devastating blow to the French Navy. As one of the most advanced battleships of its time, its seizure by the Nazis symbolized the weaponization of France against itself. Once a testament to French naval engineering, the Richelieu became a tool for German domination in their relentless pursuit over control of Europe. The battleship's arsenal was formidable. It boasted 8 380mm guns and 2 quadruple turrets, designed for long-range bombardments that could devastate enemy fleets before they got within striking distance. These guns could fire 1.5-ton shells over 40 kilometers, providing the reach and power that gave the Richelieu an edge in naval engagements. Its second armament included 152mm guns for mid-range targets and an array of anti-aircraft weaponry, which provided considerable defense against aerial threats. This combination of offense and defense made it a highly versatile and dangerous weapon. Under German control, the Richelieu was a prize of immense strategic value. Though the ship required repairs and upgrades, the Nazis saw its potential as a deterrent against the Allies in occupied waters. However, the Germans faced a lot of challenges with the Richelieu. Its sophisticated operating system required maintenance and expertise beyond the Germans. This led to limitations in its overall operational readiness. Additionally, her design, which placed all main guns forward, was indeed an asset, but also a vulnerability. While it concentrated firepower for offensive strikes, its rear was left defenseless. This was a significant flaw the Germans tried hard to work around. During Richelieu's time under German command, its use was more symbolic than strategic. The Nazis utilized the ship's imposing presence to bolster their naval superiority in occupied waters, and as a propaganda tool to showcase their dominance over France. However, the ship was never fully integrated into the Germans' Kriegsmarine fleet. While it was devastating for France to watch a powerful symbol of their naval ingenuity turned against them, they utilized the rest of their arsenal to fight alongside the Allied forces. On May 8, 1945, Germany finally gave in to the Allied forces' military superiority, and France won. If you enjoyed watching this video and would love to see more like it, then you're in the proper harbor. Drop a like, subscribe, and check out other videos on this channel for more content like this. While you're at it, hit the post notification bell so you never miss out on our upcoming videos. See you in the next one.